Today on Running to Him.
What God wills controls our life experiences. Some, out of fear, deny Christ. Therefore, we must always be truthful, and no matter what the cost. Today's reading is John chapter 9, verses 13 through 41, and we'll concentrate on verses 30 through 34. John 9:30 through 34 says, "The man answered him and said, 'Well, here is an amazing thing that you did not know where he is from, and yet he opened my eyes. We know that God does not hear sinners, but if anyone is God-fearing and does his will, he hears him. Since the beginning of time, he has never been heard that anyone opened the eyes of a person born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing.' They answered him, 'You were born entirely in sins, and you are teaching us?' So they put him out." Beginning in the first verse of chapter 9, the story of the man born blind brings with it three lessons. First, the apostles asked why he had been born blind. Was the reason his sin or the parents' sin? Jesus' response was neither. He was born blind so that the works of God could be displayed in him. That statement of Christ sheds a whole new light on illness. Secondly, the parents refused to answer the Pharisees' questions because they were afraid that they would be expelled from the synagogue. This lesson teaches us that some deny Christ's presence and miracles because of fear. And the final lesson, to tell the truth, no matter what the cost. The son's answers to the Pharisee was direct, truthful, and fearless. But, unfortunately, the result was he was cast out of the synagogue. Three lessons in one story. First, God is in control of our lives. God allows good and bad things to happen to us. And there are examples where God actually placed a disease in a person when sin was involved. Gehazi and Miriam are good examples. Gehazi was Elijah's servant, and he decided to make a little money from God because of a miracle of the healing of Naaman. God, through Elisha, gave Naaman's leprosy to Gehazi as a punishment, 2 Kings chapter 5. In Numbers 12, 1 through 15, Miriam was temporarily cursed with leprosy for speaking against Moses. But God can and does allow things to happen to people, and the result is God's glorification. This action occurred in the blind man's story. Lesson 2 is that the parents knew the story of their son's blindness and the healing was true, but they were afraid to admit it for fear that they're being ostracized by the ruling authority. Sometimes people allow fear of authority to prevent them from speaking about the truth of Christ. We should never fear telling the truth, no matter what the consequences. If God places us in the position where truth is required, then by denying the truth, we are denying God and Christ. Finally, in our world, the third lesson is that we might soon have to decide whether or not to stand up to authorities and tell the truth about Christ and suffer the consequences. The United States is fast becoming an authoritarian country. Many are now demanding that we believe the way they do or suffer their wrath. The vaccination debate and the debate over critical race theory are perfect examples. If someone offers some legitimate solution to vaccination or the other source of the coronavirus, they are denounced as fools and enemies of the state. If we don't hold that the United States is a racist country, we are declared racist, even though critical race theory is in itself the definition of racism. It holds that one group of people are oppressors because of their skin color, and the others are oppressed because of theirs. Neither group can change their skin color. Then they are being judged racially. This is the very definition of racism. We must stand against this lie. If we practice loving people as God loves us, we are not practicing racists. What is in God will control our life experiences. Some out of fear deny Christ. We must always be truthful, no matter what the cost.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.